Welcome to PD on the Go, the podcast that delivers bite-sized learning on communication, collaboration, and facilitation for busy teacher leaders. Tune in while you're in your car, on your lunch break, or making copies, and get ready to level up your leadership skills. My name is Rebecca Hazelbeck, and I'm joined today by my colleagues from the Office of Professional Learning in Fairfax County Public Schools.
Hi, I'm Erica Williams.
Hi, I'm Hallie Case.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth Anderson.
And on today's episode, we're talking about the art of presenting effective PD. So, Erica, how do you build rapport with a room of busy colleagues, especially when you're the one leading the learning?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I love to do is greet people at the door. Like a strong start, really welcoming individuals in, saying hello, gathering their names, and asking them what their role is, what school they work out. I think people want to see that you care about them, want to get to know a bit about their experiences as they come into the door, kind of helps them to be more engaged. And really being genuine and relatable can really, support an environment of safety and kind of build some trust very quickly, I think, to help people get excited about the PD.
You always like to start also with music in the room,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
That kind of
love it.
creates like a fun atmosphere, energetic, and a welcoming space so people are excited to be there since they took the time out of their busy day to come to the learning.
Yeah, so true.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking of rapport still. And it makes me think back to like when I was a department chair and I was hosting monthly PD in my classroom at the end of a school day. And like all those things that you just said are true for the teacher leader in a school too. And how I would feel like I would want like everything to be set up before people even came in. Like even if students are just leaving, like I would try to have the music ready and the slides up. I didn't want to be scrambling and not able to like welcome people because it was, it didn't set like the tone that I would have wanted when those times happened where I couldn't get it together,
It also makes me think about even the room setup itself. So, like, if it's possible, having tables where there are groups of 4, or if you are holding a meeting at school, having a round table or a U shape in some capacity helps to bring people together and sets it up for a space of collaboration and discussion, I think.
So this reminds me of what we used to do as teachers as well, when we would set up the space for our students to be able to learn, and we would be at the door greeting them on their way in. So it's the same for adult learners. We want to make sure we're doing those same strategies to create that welcoming environment, that warm environment, so they're ready to learn. Yeah. Because we never know where people are coming from.
Very true.
And even with that, it's like that inclusive welcome. So we know, like, if you're a department chair holding PD at the end of the day, everyone who's coming in has had a busy day where lots of things have happened. So how do we welcome them to the space, maybe provide some time for them to check in with someone or clear sort of what's happened outside of that room before stepping into the learning? You might start with a joke or name something like, oh, I know we all just got that email about, construction in the parking lot, or naming something so that you connect with the audience and understand and then get started.
And you're really good at that, Mary Beth. You like to name for the audience. I know there's probably 1,000 things you could be doing right now, but here you are present with me, ready to learn, and I appreciate that kind of thing. And when you do that with your audiences. So what about body language? Why is body language so important when presenting?
Yeah, so once I learned this, I couldn't like stop noticing it in myself when I was presenting. Because I think that I used to be a really sort of nervous presenter, and I would rock back and forth, like foot to foot, and kind of fidget. And I'm a hand talker, so sometimes I like would make really big gestures. But the thing in presenting is that you want to be the least distracting as possible for the participants. So body language in presenting to me is like standing tall and firm and not moving and kind of holding your arms in a central area, not making a lot of movements there, because you're just going to come across as more credible and that you know what you're talking about. And there are times to be approachable. There are times to walk around the room and kind of have a more inviting body language, but when you're up there presenting, you're not going to want to be crossing your arms across your chest and coming across as closed off or having some nervous habits. It's important to try to tone those down when you're in front of a group of people.
So the presenter pose is really important because ultimately you want them focusing in on what you're saying.
Yeah.
And not what you're doing.
Yes.
Right? The content's more important.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
else would you add, Erica?
I mean, thinking about the body language of the facilitator, the presenter, and it also makes me think about as a presenter, looking around the room and reading the room, looking at your audience's or your team's eyes to see, are they engaged, are they tired? I mean, is there a need to sort of modify the agenda a bit, like reading the room and just stopping for a minute? Hey, it looks like we're all tired. Do we need just a second to process or to, quiet our thoughts? And then once they check in or sign off, then you come back to the content and you move forward with the agenda. I think it matters for the facilitator to be mindful of their body language and also look at your audience and know where they are in the moment too. That can help support the presentation and forward movement, I think.
Yeah, because you can tell by facial expressions.
Yeah.
Are they confused? Are they in this? Do they have a question? Or if there's lots of talking, maybe they need more time to process. So I need to make some adjustments. Or especially if you have a longer day of PD, where do I need to put the break in? We always kind of keep that slide as we think it might come here, but we might have to adjust based on the audience's needs.
Yeah.
It's all about flexibility.
It is.
Are there any other best practices for managing the session that you would give our viewers?
Well, Rebecca, you have a really great tip about the tone of voice that people use. I really want you to tell
Oh,
that.
yes, please.
Okay,
Rebecca.
so the airplane analogy
Uh-huh.
is an analogy that I like to use when I'm trying to explain the difference between being approachable, which is when I'm delivering, maybe asking a question, and being credible, which is when I'm delivering content to my participants. And so on an airplane, the pilot, when you go into an area that's very turbulent, that's like you're just like bouncing all around on the plane, he's not going to get on there and be like, don't worry, everybody, we're fine. We're just experiencing a little turbulence today. He's going to be credible, like you
Yeah.
would be when you're delivering content. He's going to say, hello, everybody, this is the pilot. We are experiencing a little bit of turbulence today. Don't worry. We're going to be back into a nice, smooth area soon. And then you get off.
It makes you feel safe.
It makes
Yeah,
you feel
absolutely.
safe. Yeah. Whereas when what's the lady's name? That
Flight
comes around?
attendant?
The lady or the man, the flight attendant, whoever they are that are coming around and asking you, what would you like to drink today? They're not going to come around and say it in a credible way. What do you want to drink today? They're going to come around and be approachable.
Yes.
And there's times for that in professional development too, especially when we're asking the audience, like, what do you all think? Who wants
Yeah.
to, when you're opening up the space for them to bring their voices into the space as well.
Yeah, that approachable voice is inviting.
Yeah.
And that credible voice is knowledgeable and sharing expertise.
Yeah.
And you need a balance of both.
You
in
do.
the
You
PD,
do.
right? Because adults need time to soak in the content and then time to ask questions and feel safe to do that.
And
Yeah.
adults need to know that you know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Right? If you're delivering key, important information or you want them to try something new, they have to trust you. And if you're not being credible, then it's harder to trust somebody who sounds like they're asking questions when they're talking.
Yeah.
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 It also makes me think credible with your body language and how you stand. But also, if I'm holding notes and reading from my notes when
Yeah.
I'm presenting and I might be mumbling or looking down, I don't look as credible that I'm here to share this information with you. So they might not trust it as much. And then the breakdown of implementation happens.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you need to know your content. That's an important part of presenting as well.
Yeah.
And what are some of the resources we're going to be sharing?
So we have so we've done an effective presentations PD, which lasts for 3 hours, and we've gotten lots of requests for this PD. So we have an article that we use in that PD that is tips for presenters. So we have that article that we'll upload onto our teacher leadership site for our listeners to go ahead and look at that and see how it connects with what we shared today too.
That's exciting. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. You can find more resources and ideas related to today's topic on our Instagram, which is at FCPS_PD. And join us next week for more PD on the go. We'll see you there.